What is going on, guys? Kiamimara 007 back with another Marvel's Contest of Champions video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about my second rank 5, a video I've been trying to do for a while, but haven't been able to. But we're doing it now. We're doing it now, right? So the second rank 5 of the account, right, is Nick Fury, and we're just gonna go through his abilities, break them down for you, right, and just talk about Nick Fury, and of course see some gameplay at the end where of course he's going to bully Winter Soldier in Realm of Legends. But Nick Fury, overall, Nick Fury is a very good champion, arguably the best skill champion in the game. I mean, of course, there is Aegon, right? But Aegon can't get ramped up in every piece of content. But Nick Fury just works everywhere, right? So yeah, Nick Fury is amazing. And it's not only about what he can do himself, but he's got some amazing synergies. Let's talk about the synergies first. So, all hero champions except Nick have 10% attack rating, and this is doubled if Nick Fury is dead, right? So, when Nick Fury dies, you will get that 20% attack increase, right? And that's pretty good. You're probably not going to have Nick Fury dead, but yeah, that's one of them. And then we have the Restoration Kit. Very good for those of you who use Suicide Marshes. I personally don't, but if I did, I would definitely have Nick Fury and maybe one of the Deadpools in, right? If they could update this and have Platinum Pool in, that would be what's now cool, but we don't know. But yeah, basically purifies bleed, poison, or shock debuff, right? And drops the Restoration Kit, purifying the debuff and regenerating 10% of their max health over 3 seconds, right? So yeah, this is everybody except Nick Fury, of course, right? Like I said, I don't run Suicide, so that's not a synergy I use, but this is definitely a synergy I use, and that is the Strategic Sabotage. If Nick is alive, the first 3 hits thrown by the opponent have a 100% chance to be evaded. This will not trigger while blocking or dashing back. So if you're dashing back and they how do I say, kind of hit you on the back foot or whatever, right, then you're not going to get it. If you're holding block, right, and it's an unblockable, you're not going to get it. So just keep that in mind. But this is an amazing synergy. I use this synergy all the time. I build my team around this synergy, right? It's not about, I'm afraid to get hit or anything like that. It's just, when you're fighting long fights, right? Or fights where, one hit kind of means death, right? Then you really want this synergy. It really helps. A lot of people use this synergy, right? And lucky me, I have the 5-star Nick Fury and the 5-star Quake, and it's just an added bonus that Nick Fury and Quake are beyond God tier champions. Quake is like the best science and Nick is like the best skill, right? Obviously arguable considering there is Aegon, right? But yeah, so that's an amazing synergy. Then he's got some other synergies. Another notable synergy is with Captain Marvel. All champions, if Nick is alive, all Fury buffs have 20% increased duration, including his own, right? So not really a big thing, but it doesn't affect Captain Marvel because her Furies are indefinite. But Nick's, it would help before his LMD, and then Extreme Conditionings Kit and Power Kit. And you see, these synergies aren't with the worst champions in the game. You got the Quake one. I mean, the Deadpools and the Black Panthers, maybe not the best. But with Quake, beyond God tier champion, and the synergy still works if Quake is dead. It doesn't work if Nick is dead. So just keep that in mind. But if you lose your Quake, you still have the synergy. But yeah, and then of course Captain Marvel too. Same thing. But yeah, pretty good synergies. And then Scarlet Witch, when she becomes as a 5-star, I got a stacked team. She's going to be amazing as a 5-star. I can't wait to try and get her. But let's talk about this man's abilities, right? He's got good health, reasonable, good attack. I mean, with that Furious Fury, he's got great attack. But yeah, he's got good attack, good health, right? Good block proficiency and stuff like that. Now, ideally, you want Nick Fury to be duped, and the duped ability gives you a sort of a second life, right? So without the duped ability, you are fighting as the life model decoy of Nick Fury the entire time, and when the life model decoy dies, you die. But if you have the duped ability, the life model decoy is destroyed when you would die, right? And the real Nick Fury comes out, and he gains a Fury's Fury buff, and slowly degenerates until 30% health, right? Depending on the sig level, the degeneration differs, right? So pretty cool, right? You got a second life basically with Nick Fury, but also this second life with Nick Fury, the real Nick Fury, does damage, like real damage, right? And we'll get into that. Battle scars: when striking a bleeding opponent, Nick's critical rating is increased by 233 and his attack ignores 100% physical resistance. So all the physical resistance, right, as soon as there's a bleed on the opponent, ignores it. Well, it's amazing. You put a lot of bleeds on the opponents. We'll get into that as well. While the opponent is not under the effect of regeneration buff, all of Nick's bleeds are 100% more potent. So, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of regeneration, you know. Basic attacks: ending a combo with a light attack has a 100% chance to inflict a bleed, dealing 1035 damage over 1 second, right? So if you, basically with Nick, you're going to be ending your combos with a light attack, right? If not that, you'd be parry heavy attacking, so you can get the passive bleed up, but we'll talk about that. Landing any medium attack has a 100% chance to inflict a bleed, dealing 57.53 damage over 6 seconds. So these bleeds, right, you get these small ones with the medium attacks, right, that are, and the heavy attacks as well. They're not big bleeds, but they are there because they last longer and can get you into your internal bleed, you know. You will eventually stack them up to get them to internal bleed, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But Nick Fury, with those bleeds, right, masochism, you hit the first medium and then it will regenerate 5% of their health, right? But you continue your combo and then end it with a light, and then basically what they regen will disappear because of how strong his bleed is, right? Landing a heavy attack has a 100% chance to inflict up to 3 stacks of bleed, dealing 115. Once again, these are just there because they last a little bit longer, and once you get 8 bleed, well, above 7 bleeds on the opponent, it turns into an internal bleed, right? We'll get into that. When attacking into auto block, Nick is stun immune, has a 100% chance to inflict a bleed, right? And knocking down the opponent purifies Nick's non-damaging debuffs, weakness, armor break, those sorts of things. Internal bleed. Now this is what I was talking about. If the opponent gets 8 stacks of bleed, their bleed effects are removed and replaced with a passive internal bleed effect, which deals 6,212.7 damage over 30 seconds, and that is intense. That's a lot of bleed. Granted, it's over a longer time, but it's good to have the internal bleed. When internal bleed is active, all the opponent's bleed debuffs have an increased duration of 0.2 seconds per tactical charge. Tactical advantage charges. This is another thing with Nick Fury, right? Another thing besides his bleed. This is where other parts of his advantage come from. Nick starts the fight with 6 charges when fighting an Avenger, Hulk, Thor, and them, right? When Nick is struck, he has a 100% chance to gain 1 tactical charge, reduced to 25% against Mutant Champion. So if you're fighting a Nick Fury in war, he's the defender, you're going to want to use a Mutant Champion against him. It's just better. Omega Red, of course, being an amazing option. While Nick is under the effect of Fury effect, tactical charge durations are paused, right? Nick loses 1 charge every 6 seconds, decreasing to every 4 seconds while at or above 10 total charges. Additionally, if the opponent performs a well-timed block, Nick loses 1 charge, right? So parried and you'll lose a charge. At 5 and above charges, Nick attacks can't be missed or evaded. So basically he's an evade counter, right, at 5 or above charges. Now 10 and above charges, Nick's purify effects now target all debuffs. So if you have a bleed, a poison, shock on you, right, you can knock the opponent down and we'll remove it. At 15 charges and above, Nick becomes unblockable, one of the best parts of his kit, right? Especially when you're in the real Nick Fury phase, right? This is like the best part. As long as you're above 15 charges but below 20 charges, that is the golden zone, right? You can just beat into the opponent. They cannot block you, right? They cannot evade you, and you got that intense Fury. At 20 and above charges, all charges are removed and replaced with the Fury's Fury buff, which grants 4,141 attack rating over 10 seconds. All tactical charges gained are doubled while Fury's Fury is active, right? So Getting the 20 charges is something you would do when you don't have the real Nick Fury out. Then you might want to get out above 20 charges. Otherwise, you're not really aiming for above 20 charges, right? Because when you are the real Nick Fury, you just want to have the one Fury's Fury, and you want to be unblockable. But if you throw a special one because you need to, then you get the second Fury and your attack is even more. It's great. Special one. When performing this attack, Nick immediately gains 4 tactical charges, disorients the opponent, reducing their block proficiency by 50% and defensive ability accuracy by 70% for 8 seconds. Special 2, Nick slashes his opponent, causing up to 4 stacks of bleed, dealing 575.25 damage over 8 seconds. 50% chance to stun the opponent for 3 seconds. Stun chance increases by a flat 10% for each of Nick's tactical charges. So basically what you really want to be doing with Nick is getting to the special 2, throwing it, and then if there's a stun, dash to the opponent and do a heavy attack, get the internal bleed passive, right, and then you can continue the fight. Special attack 3, it's additional 4,602 attack if Fury's Fury is active, and an additional 4,602 attack if Eternal Bleed is active. So if you can launch the special 3, right, while you have a Fury's Fury, right, so I don't know, let's say you're in the real Nick Fury phase, right, just before you launch your special 3, maybe throw 3 heavy attacks, right, or get an internal bleed onto the opponent, right, and that way you will get the most damage possible from your special 3, right, and that's basically what you want to do with Nick Fury. That's it for his abilities really. So let's jump into some gameplay with Nick Fury right now. Right, and jumping into the gameplay, of course, we are beating up Winter Soldier from the Realm of Legends, right? I think it is that. Yes, Realm of Legends, Winter Soldier. Right now, we're gonna take hits. Right, it's not slip ups. It's not even the problem with the new AI. The new AI is bad, but it seems to have been fixed. Right, you just needed to force restart your game, right, and it should be back to normal. But yeah, so we're gonna do a couple of things here. So while we have the LMD up, right, you can use Nick Fury in normal fights, just working with the LMD like he's a normal champion, except your damage will be reliant on bleed. So don't take him into a fight like not Nick Fury, a fight like Luke Cage, where you'll be needing the bleeds, right? So that's where the LMD can still do some work is with the bleeds. But here we go, I put an internal bleed on him passive, right, and then did the special so that I could get a little bit of bonus damage. That's something you can do when you're in the LMD, right, for the damage, right. It does quite a bit, right, but this Winter Soldier isn't like, I thought he'd be able to like take us down to the real Nick Fury real fast, but he's not, unfortunately, right. But you see here, we're in the LMD, we got the Fury's Fury from being pushed past 20 tactical charges, right, and our tactical charges right now are paused, right. So you can get the Fury's Fury while you are Nick Fury, while you are the LMD for Nick Fury. So just keep that in mind. A whole lot of fury is going to be said in this fight, right. So once again, we are just trying to get beaten down into the real Nick Fury, because that's the star of the show, right. Nick Fury, when he has the real Nick Fury, when he has his Fury's Fury, and he is between 15 and 20 tactical charges, right, 15, 16, 17, 18 tactical charges. That is the golden boy. That is Nick Fury's most powerful, right. He's got his Fury and he's got his unblockable, right. That's really where you want Nick Fury. So they've got the internal bleed and we got the Fury's Fury, so that is the most attack bonus that you can get from the special 3, right. Pretty good, right. And now we're just going to beat into him so that we can get to the special 1, right, so that we can get to the unblockable phase, right. And when you have the Fury's Fury, you'll also notice that instead of getting 4 tactical charges from the special 1, you get 8 instead. Just another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, this Winter Soldier is going down much faster now that we have Nick Fury, the real Nick Fury. And that's kind of all there is to Nick Fury. I think what are we Yeah, I think we might just throw another one. Sorry, mistaken. We needed to throw another special one. Right, but you can see the damage with Nick Fury is just so much. But yeah, that is it for Nick Fury, guys. Really powerful, best skill in the game? Question mark. Well, I mean, it's between him and Aegon, and quite frankly, it's very arguable that Nick Fury is better than Aegon. But yeah, that is it for Nick Fury. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and to join the community. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.